I absolutely love my job and I really enjoy the work we do. It's a real pleasure to go out and engage people and get people to join the organisation. I mean, we've got speech and language therapists, we've got drama therapists.
We've got domestics, we've got estates,
IT engineers and specialist engineers,
nursing assistants, healthcare support workers,
peer trainers, occupational therapists, nurse specialists, social workers.
We also have CBT therapists.
We've got our finance teams, we've got procurement, we've got
chief exec, etc., team leaders,
psychiatrists,
physiotherapists.
We've got Bob who comes round on his trolley.
There's all these people. I mean, there's so many different roles in this trust. Everybody makes a difference. I've just been speaking to Selena and she's fantastic. Every morning she'd come in, she's smiling and she makes a real difference too. Everything's so nice and clean here because she's doing her job.
I've been here for 15 years now. Work's good for me. It really is. And they always say good morning to me and I say good morning back. Yes, it's just a nice atmosphere.
I've always worked in children's health of one sort or another, but actually mental health was always more interesting, to watch how people can change their whole future just by being listened to and helped to think differently about themselves. And actually I wanted to work for the NHS because I really believe that everybody should have access to that kind of care.
For me, it's the drive to make a positive difference to others, so that really motivates me.
There's so much stigma around mental health, and Sussex Partnership are working really hard to sort of break down some of those stigmatising barriers and really put the support in that people need. And yeah, I just wanted to be part of supporting that.
We are so privileged in the jobs that we have, that we work with people who are incredibly vulnerable and distressed, and we can do something that actually can make that different for them.
Making a difference is crucial. I think there's that sense that every individual wants to make a contribution to make the world a better place, and that sounds really broad, and if you boil it right down, it's what can I do?
Obviously I was very unwell when I went into hospital. I've got better. I've also started working for the trust, sort of like part-time, a few days here, a few days there, and it's expanding as time goes by.
Lots of people are really inspirational when they're really struggling. The courage that people show is quite humbling.
One particular nurse would always go the extra mile for me. She stayed that extra time with me because she knew I needed it. She knew that I was it was a very dark place. And then she's seen me in good times, and I owe a lot to her.
When people are feeling that distress, they can't see a future for themselves. But you know that things can change for them because you've seen it happen many times before, and I think they can be reassured by that.
I'm still recovering, but I always feel that gentleness and compassion that I've received, I want to give on to others.
I have a son who has schizophrenia and he's 53. His illness came on probably mid-20s, so he changed from a very outgoing, happy young man and became virtually reclusive and unable really to keep in with the world, to keep in touch with the world. So it was a very long, painful journey for him. It's important to see that person not just as the person that needs help, needs medication. That we're not on a conveyor belt. We're on a path which we're walking along, and it's life. It's our life. It's his life.
When people talk about psychiatric units, especially in adolescence, it does seem very terrifying. And then when I came in, everyone was really supportive. It's more of a homely environment where people care and they genuinely want to help because they wouldn't be here if they didn't want to help you.
I worked with a couple, the man had dementia. It was a great piece of work because by the end of it, it felt like they'd made such huge progress. They were communicating differently. They were actually becoming more intimate. They were closer, really, because of the work that we'd done, whereas what would happen before is that the dementia had pushed them apart.
I had postnatal depression with both of my children,
And one of the things that I think really made a difference for me was I had a midwife who ran kind of community groups who just, I think, took that time to come round. She did that extra visit that she probably wasn't meant to do.
When somebody does something nice to you, it pushes you into thinking, do you know, I'm going to do something for that person or somebody else. It's a ripple in the pond. You throw it's the effect of just doing one gesture.
Even from just, knowing that the way my mum liked to drink her coffee, they didn't have to ask. And it's caring rather than just doing a job. I think kind goes a long way.
Since I've been employed by the Trust, I've been offered lots of opportunities for specialised training. I really feel like I'm able to develop, and because I'm developing those skills, I'm able to help people more on the ward.
Recently, I was able to participate in a research study. That was working with patients and their families in their homes, looking at what was really important to them. And you can really see that type of research work can really enhance the service.
We're about staff and carers working more collaboratively. If people who access services are involved in shaping decisions, there is a shared ownership straight away, and there's a shared understanding as to why things aren't perfect, why things might go wrong, or how we're going about fixing it.
Sometimes we get demotivated with a complaint, for example, but that's one. What about all the others that we haven't had any complaints about?
It's a really emotionally filled job, and I think what you need to do this job and to do it well is you need to support yourself. So we've got really good peer support, we've got really good supervision, we've really got excellent management where I am, and what's really promoted within my team is to look after our own health.
Just trying to be a little bit more personal, because sometimes when you're really busy, you've got reports to write, you've got parents to talk to, and you can just kind of railroad into it. And sometimes I do that. I'm not perfect, but sometimes I just try and remember that we're all people and take a little bit of time to have a cup of tea.
We could really worry a lot all the time about lots of things that we can't do a lot about. Yeah, but we can go on the next home visit, and we can pick up the phone to a carer, and we can talk to a colleague about how something could be slightly different. Sort of like step by step, and keeping the service user at the centre of it.
What have you found most useful?
We did lots of bits on all sorts of bits, didn't we? On coping with problems, sorting problems out, discussing problems as a group.
What was useful about talking about feelings?
I think it was useful to try and work out where I was going and what I was doing wrong. I was getting angry with people at home, was I? Getting cross with people at home. It was certainly useful.
I really love working with people who may have had a dark time or be in that dark time, and I'm able to work with them and use my own examples and my as a role model. You're really helping people move towards recovery.
I'm the team leader at Badger's Corner, which is like a rehab cafe where service users come and engage in realistic work experience. The rewarding thing is helping people and actually see people that have managed to rebuild their lives.
I have worked in this job for, mental health for about 18 years, and it is incredible the people that have shared, what people share with you. I think we are in very privileged positions.
I work with someone else who's a service user, and he's a big believer in hope, and I use that word a lot more now. Since I've been doing well in the community, you hold hope for yourself, but then you hold hope for other people as well by sharing your experience, what I've been through and what they can achieve.
I'm quite open about it. I have type 2 bipolar, which obviously can be a little bit crippling in some ways. I had CBT therapy sessions which have really helped revolutionise the way I manage myself, and it's been an incredibly powerful tool. And because of that self-experience, it means a lot to me, this trust. And I do think the empowerment that one person has given me, the people out there doing this on a daily basis are giving that to other people. It's just, you look at the scope of that and you get blown away by it. And I love being a part of that.